step into the arena of minds. On this channel, every move is a clash of strategy, every sacrifice a turning point, and every game a battle for glory. Watch two players push the limits of creativity and calculation as we bring you the drama, suspense, and excitement of chess like never before. Alexander opens with e4. The white pawn thrusts forward like a spear, claiming the center and declaring war from the very first moment. Wesley counters with c5. The Sicilian defense rises like a storm wall, bold and uncompromising, promising a sharp and fiery battle ahead. Ivanov brings out the knight to f3, a classic developing move, guarding the center and preparing for dynamic play. Wesley replies with d6, a solid backbone of the Sicilian, tightening the defense and setting the stage for a counterstrike. Ivanov plays bb5, a cheeky check that shines like a flash grenade, testing Wesley's precision early in the opening. Wesley calmly answers with n7, cool-headed defense, blocking the check and keeping the dark-squared bishop ready for action. Ivanov strikes the center with d4. The battlefield opens up, tension crackling as both sides contest the heart of the board. Wesley captures with cxd4, slicing open the center, turning Ivanov's aggression against him in true Sicilian style. The white queen slides to d4, elegant and commanding, taking control of the center and daring Wesley to challenge her reign. Wesley advances a6, a cautious yet strategic push, forcing the bishop to decide its fate and clearing room for the queenside expansion. Ivanov trades with bsc7, one piece gone, tension eased slightly, but strategy deepens in the unfolding storm. Wesley recaptures with bsd7, his dark-squared bishop steps up, keeping harmony in his structure while preparing for development. Ivanov castles short, the king tucks away safely, the white army mobilized for the real battle to begin. Wesley places his rook on c8, a cold mechanical move, eyes locked on the c-file, ready for the long war. Ivanov pushes c4. The white pawns march in formation, seizing space and challenging Wesley's pawn chain. Wesley responds with a5, a sharp central thrust, slamming back against white's center like a hammer blow. The queen retreats to d3. Ivanov repositions elegantly, keeping pressure on the light squares and maintaining her influence. Wesley expands with b5, a brutal advance on the queenside marking his territory with steel-like precision. The white knight leaps to a3, a quiet but cunning move, eyeing b5 and c4, ready to twist the narrative. Wesley answers with qb6. His queen steps up, eyeing weak points and hinting at a deadly counterattack. Ivanov calmly plays b3, reinforcing his defense while keeping both eyes on the growing tension. Wesley slides qb7. The queen realigns, staying flexible and eyeing long-range control down the diagonal. Ivanov brings out nd2, reinforcing the center, like stacking shields before the next wave of attack. Wesley develops b7, a patient, classical move, finishing setup and preparing his king to breathe safely. Ivanov places the rook on cone, eyes on the open file, setting a subtle trap for later invasions. Wesley's knight jumps to f6. Activity increases, the black pieces now coordinated and buzzing with energy. Ivanov yankitos, the bishop to g5, Tension flares, the pin burns directly into Wesley's knight and psyche. Wesley slides the knight to f5, breaking the pin, showing calm confidence amid growing pressure. Ivanov trades bx7, a sharp exchange, hoping to weaken black's kingside protection. Wesley recaptures kx7. The king boldly steps into the fray, showing So's signature fearlessness. Ivanov pushes g3, air for the king, room for maneuvering, and an eye toward f-hour. Wesley's knight returns to f6, regrouping perfectly, ready to strike at the right time. Ivanov plays ra4. The rooks begin to coordinate white's setup, turning into a coiled spring. Wesley activates the other rook with raj d8. Both engines humming now, the stage ready for collision. Ivanov pushes f3. Steady hands building a fortress, keeping black's c-hour push under control. Wesley calmly answers with r6, reinforcing the c-file, ready for infiltration. Ivanov advances b3, tightening structure, covering critical squares, and giving flexibility to his pawns. Wesley returns the queen to q/6, a probing check, asking white's king where it plans to hide. Ivanov sidesteps to kg2, composure intact, avoiding danger while keeping rooks connected. Wesley repositions with k5. The queen aims down the diagonal like a sniper, searching for tactical chances. Ivanov brings the knight to c2, repositioning quietly, waiting for the next break in the chaos. Wesley answers with b6, smooth and disciplined, preparing to double rooks and press on c4. Ivanov plays a3, a preventive measure, stopping any b4 nonsense before it even starts. Wesley doubles up with rd8, a cold mechanical grind, control of the c-file now absolute. Ivanov responds with redon, fortifying the d-file, trying to match Wesley's growing pressure. Wesley's knight jumps to 8, stepping back only to spring forward stronger, a classic So maneuver. Ivanov moves nb4, a tactical lunge, eyeing chicks and hoping to create discomfort. Wesley counters with r6-7. Reinforcement upon reinforcement, black's camp looks unbreakable. Ivanov's queen slides to c3, searching for counterplay, her influence stretching like a web. Wesley calmly plays k5. The king edges to safety, preparing for the storm that's brewing. Ivanov's knight leaps to d5, an aggressive stab, landing deep into enemy territory. Wesley strikes back with qxe3. The sniper queen takes her prize without hesitation. Ivanov's rook recaptures rx8 c3. White tries to maintain activity, but the momentum begins to fade. Wesley exchanges with bxt5, cutting down white's stronghold, evening the field. Ivanov takes back with x5. The pawn turns into a warrior, holding the center through sheer grit. Wesley pushes 5. The engine roars to life, transforming the position from balance to attack. Ivanov's rook holds cone, steady under fire, keeping the last bastion of control. Wesley's knight lands on f6, regrouping perfectly, every piece now ready for battle. Ivanov brings Raune, aiming at the queenside, seeking counterplay through open space. Wesley centralizes the king with k7, calm confidence radiating as he prepares for the endgame. Ivanov plays a4, pushing forward, searching for space and hope on the queenside. Wesley meets it with bxc4, opening the lines brutally, inviting chaos into the position. Ivanov's pawn recaptures bxc4, trying to keep structure but the cracks are widening. Wesley continues with red8, cold precision, preparing for domination along the b-file. Ivanov brings Rabona. Defending desperately, white senses the storm closing in. Wesley doubles rooks with rcb7. The formation is complete. Black's control absolute. Ivanov trades with rxb7 all, a forced exchange to relieve pressure. Wesley calmly answers rxb7. No panic, just precision, keeping everything clean. Ivanov takes rx pawn, simplifying the chaos but perhaps too late. Wesley replies rx pawn. Every exchange moves him closer to victory. Ivanov's knight takes pawn. His last knight stands as the soul of white's resistance. Wesley pushes g5, a ruthless advance, ready to tear open the king's side. Ivanov brings the knight to d2, repositioning defensively, searching for harmony. Wesley slashes forward with g4, raw aggression, showing So's killer instinct. Ivanov plays h3, a small shield, but will it hold the flood? Wesley captures with gxf3 key. The explosion arrives, the attack fully unleashed. Ivanov's king steps to f3, stepping into the flames, no way back now. Wesley plays a5, pushing relentlessly, feeding the fire of attack. Ivanov answers with a5, a desperate counter-thrust on the other flank, trying to distract the beast. Wesley's knight leaps to h7, circling back for the kill, preparing a clinical endgame assault. Ivanov steadies himself with k3, a cautious step, trying to regroup his forces and breathe amid Wesley's relentless pressure. Wesley's knight returns to f6. The black pieces hum in unison, perfectly coordinated for the squeeze to come. Ivanov brings his king to f3, inching closer to the center, searching for safety and counterplay at once. Wesley mirrors with kf7, calm, confident, and perfectly poised to lead the final assault. Ivanov shifts to k3, a patient dance, trying to maintain tension and look for an opening. Wesley steps to kg6. The king joins the attack, marching like a general leading his troops to victory. Ivanov answers, kf3, his king standing guard, refusing to retreat despite the tightening noose. Wesley's knight darts to d7, repositioning with deadly intent, sharpening the blade for the next strike. Ivanov tries nb3, perhaps seeking stability, but the battlefield grows darker by the move. Wesley plays kj5, an eerie advance, his king now a weapon, as the endgame turns menacing. Ivanov pushes h4e, a sudden jab, trying to disrupt Wesley's rhythm and force him to react. Wesley steps back to kf6, composed as ever, dodging the jab and keeping full control. Ivanov moves k3, returning to his fortress, clinging to structure as the storm swirls. Wesley calmly plays k7. The black army regroups, patient as a predator circling its prey. Ivanov shifts kf3, searching for coordination, but every step feels heavier. Wesley's knight moves to f6. The pressure rebuilds. Black's dominance feels inevitable. Ivanov's knight heads to d2, defending key squares though the cracks begin to widen. Wesley answers kf7, his king now perfectly placed to drive white's position into the ground. Ivanov pushes kf2, a small step forward, perhaps too little, too late. Wesley glides to kg6, circling like a shark, ready to bite into white's defenses. Ivanov repeats with kf3, an anxious shuffle, hoping to hold the fortress just a bit longer. Wesley's knight springs to d7, rerouting again, precision and patience in every motion. Ivanov plays nb3, defending stubbornly, but his position is fading. Wesley pushes f4, the dam bursts. Black's pawns surge forward with unstoppable force. Ivanov strikes back with ges f4, grasping at counterplay amid the chaos. Wesley recaptures k5, active king, active heart of the assault, control now total. Ivanov tries fc5, defiant, till the end, cutting into Black's wall of pawns. Wesley replies knight f5. The knight slashes through, leaving White's position bleeding. Ivanov's king moves to g3, fleeing the check but finding no refuge in sight. Wesley captures with nxec4, a clean, cold move. Black's precision slicing away the last of White's hope. Ivanov attempts nd4, a desperate jab in the dark, one final flicker of resistance. Wesley sidesteps with k4. The king remains fearless, pushing deeper into enemy territory. Ivanov's knight returns to e6, brave but isolated, standing alone against an iron wall. Wesley captures with nx5, eliminating another target and securing a clear path to glory. Ivanov's pawn pushes nc7, trying to cling to activity, a faint glimmer in the gloom. Wesley calmly plays nc4, efficiency incarnate, tightening the grip even further. Ivanov's knight takes on a6, clawing material, but the position remains hopelessly grim. Wesley strikes back with n3. Black's knight dominates, strangling all White's streams of counterplay. Ivanov continues nc7, repeating in vain, the board echoing with futility. Wesley captures nxd5, another cold execution. Black's power only grows. Ivanov's knight jumps n6, desperate, perhaps the last stand of a noble warrior. Wesley answers with n7, reinforcing and controlling, unbothered by any tricks. Ivanov's king steps to kf2, clinging to structure, but doom inches closer. Wesley calmly plays nf5, the knight gleaming like a blade, ready to strike the final blow. Ivanov's knight goes ng5, a defiant spark, but the fire has burned too low. Wesley's king slides to kfr, the hunter closes in, unshakable and precise. Ivanov plays NFS7, the last trembling move of resistance before the inevitable end. Wesley So stands victorious, 0-1, a masterpiece of patience, precision, and pure control. That's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to bring you even more exciting chess games. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.